Hi everyone, I'm Kelly Belair. I'm a writer and welcome to my channel. So today I will be doing an analysis of the song Daylight from Taylor Swift. This is the last track from her seventh album Lover. Let's jump in. So let's first talk about the title Daylight. And I really love the fact that this is so full of light after what Reputation was. And Daylight is just like daydream, like after the dark and terrific and creepy night, you just have daylight. Like daylight could represent like a new hope, a new beginning, because it's the beginning of another day. So the night's over and now we have daylight. So let's go.
My love was as cruel as the cities I lived.
First, we have a similarity. My love was as cruel as the cities I lived in. And to humanize a thing, you're given this thing a human quality, which is cruel. So the cities, how can a city be cruel? Just think about it, and I will do it because I've never thought about it. But a city being cruel, I would think that it would be a city that it's just full of things you don't like, or I think a city could be cruel if it reminds you to bad things, like if it makes you feel bad. Because cruel people, they just pushed your buttons, not just pushed you in the places they know is going to hurt you to make you feel worse. That's what it's going to do a cruel person. A cruel person will also be someone who has no feelings, who doesn't care about people, or who just does not have morality. So I think that a city being cruel would be a city that reminds you of things you don't want to think about. And yeah, I think, and her love was as cruel as that, was as tortuous, maybe, as moral as that. I don't know. And I think of the cities she's lived in, like New York and London. I don't know. Yeah.
And everyone looked.
Everyone looked worse in the light. I love that lyric because when it's dark, you can see clearly. You can't see like the real dangers that are out there. You just see, when it's dark, you just see silhouettes and you just see like vague things. You don't get to see the whole picture. You just don't get to see the colors and the shades, like when there's light there are shades, there are shadows, and when it's dark you just see plain. So everyone looked worse in the light. Everyone looked worse when you can see their shades, when you can see their shadows, when you can see what's in front, behind, and all around them, what surrounded them. And you could see also every character, everything that characterizes them, everything that just made them there. You could see like all the picture, and when it's dark you just can't see that. You see a silhouette, you barely see what they are, but when it's full of light you get to see the whole picture, and in that whole picture they look worse.
Worse in the light. There are so many lines that I've crossed on.
She crossed some limits. Yeah, there were boundaries that she didn't respect. So this is something that can be like bad about her. Like she recognizing her mistakes. It was unforgiven that she crossed those lines, and it can be good or it can be bad. It can teach you pretty good lessons.
Forgiven. I'll tell you the truth, but never goodbye.
This is interesting because when you are knowing someone and you are most likely to tell them lies in order to them to like you, like you present yourself in a way that isn't true. That's from a song. uh, you present yourself in a way that isn't true because you want them to stay. You don't want them to see your shade and your shadows because you want them to see you in a way that would make them stay. So she's telling that she would tell them the truth. She would tell this person the truth about herself. She would do that in order not to say goodbye. Like this tells us that they are getting to know each other in depth. So they would say goodbye if they get to know much about each other, but she rather do that than just saying goodbye because she gets caught in her lies. So that's deep. Like that happens when you really want to have someone in your life because you want them to stay for who you are and not for who you pretend to be.
I don't wanna look at anything else now that I saw you. I don't wanna think of anything else now that I thought of you.
I love that she chose to use the want to instead of, I don't know, I'm not going to or I want. It's something she doesn't want to do. It's not in her desire. Uh, it doesn't mean that she can't, she won't probably do or anything, or the 1% to happen that situation. It's something she doesn't want to do. She's just so happy with what it's in front of her that she doesn't even have a minimal desire to just look anywhere else. And yeah, I don't want to think of anything now that I've thought of you. Now that you are like the greatest and biggest and most amazing thing, I don't want to think or do anything else. Like, what's the point? What would be the point?
I've been sleeping so long in a 20-year dark night,
If we've come back to the dark place.
and now I see daylight.
As I told you, this represents a new beginning. Like she's spent 20 years in a dark night. Even though when she thought she was seeing light, it was just dark. Now that she is in the daylight, she can see that all of her past was just dark, was just not bright. Yeah, you know?
Only see daylight. Luck of the draw only draws the unlucky.
Okay, so let me. The luck of the draw only draws the unlucky, and I loved that because I really think that when you know you can achieve something, you just work hard on it. You don't trust in luck because the luck in a draw situation, the luck of the draw, is like a 50-50 situation. You can either win or either lose. So when you're lucky, when you don't really have that much of luck or you haven't had a lot of success, you eager for those kind of situations because you just can lose in the same amount that you can win. So it draws your attention. You are drawn by it because you're drawn by it because you really think that you can either win or you can either lose. But when you're lucky or when you're a worker and you work hard and you do what you have to do, when you are lucky, you don't like those things. You don't like a win or die situation, live or die situation. You don't like a win or lose situation because you just want to win and you know you can. But when you are unlucky, you are drawn by those kind of things.
Only draws the unlucky. And so I became.
And so I became the butt of the joke. She became the target from all of the for all of the jokes. So people would pick on her because she seemed like the weakest and she was her lowest. So everyone was just pointing at her with their jokes. They were like, she is not the lucky one. You know, that big reference.
The butt of the joke.
But okay, I'm trying to think why it has to do the luck of the draw with that. And so if you don't win, you have either possibilities to win or to lose. You would want to take down your competition. So she became the butt of the jokes because everyone wanted to turn her down to get rid of the competition and just assure their wins. I don't know. I would leave that up to you in the comments.
I wounded the good and I trusted the wicked. Clearing the air, I breathed in the smoke.
We usually when we are in a bad situation because of our own decisions, this is going to be mostly the reason why, because we trusted the worst person or the wrong person. We trusted the wicked, the mean, the maleficent people, you know.
Clearing the air.
And I loved this lyric here. She was clearing the air. She was trying to make things better. And while she was trying to do that, while she was trying to clear the air to make everything good, she breathed in the smoke. She ended up being injured by it. She just swallowed and breathed in the bad things she was trying to get rid of. And yeah,
I breathed in the smoke.
she hurt herself trying to put everything
Maybe
right.
you ran with the.
And thinking about her situation, like personally, I wouldn't like to point this out, but I had to. When she tried to mend up things, when she tried to explain herself to the people and tried to tell her side of the story, she just breathed in the smoke because she was backstabbed about this. And the things she said, the words she said, were used against her, and that's what this line is trying to say. Like sometimes you want to do something to get clean, but you just end up hurting yourself because what you say or what you do can be used against you.
Wolves and refuse to settle down. Maybe I've stormed out of every single room in this town. Threw out our cloaks and our daggers because it's morning now. It's brighter now.
Right. Okay, so maybe you run with the wolves. I love that she is still using the dark things, the things related to dark into the past tense. So here run with the wolves, and the wolves are night creatures. You know, just think about a wolf and just picture them either in a dark situation, like being chased by them and everything. No, just thinking the Beauty and the Beast, and they're wolves, right? Those are wolves. Yeah. I just hope they are, because if no, I just paint myself into a clown. So he runs with the wolves, and the wolves are savage creatures. They are wild and they are free, and yeah. So he was like that. He was just going everywhere, wherever he wanted, wherever he desired, doing whatever he wanted to. So he was the same. She just ran out there. He was wild and free. And it was in dark, you know, we've had the things about the dark. So he was like that. He was just free and he was just doing whatever the hell he wanted. And he refused to settle down. And meanwhile, she was storming out of every single room. So I really think like a room, it's a place that it's private, like it's yours and it's like your space. So I really think this means that she was just leaving places. Like she wasn't settling down either, but she wasn't free. She was running away. Like she was escaping from things. She was just scared to stay in the same place. She was just going to a place to another because she was scared. She was like being chased. And either of them were settled, but meanwhile he was wild and free, and he wanted to be there. He wanted to be that way because he refused to settle down. She was just going to a place to another because she was running away from something. Well, that's the thing. And she stormed out of it. So think about a storm. Where a storm goes out, they just leave destruction on their way. Like they just pass through a place and ruin everything, just make a mess and just leaves like if nothing happened. And she did that in those rooms. She did that in those places she was. She just came in, destroyed everything, and just left. That was what she did. And a storm is also a very dark place. Like a very dark situation. There's no sunlight in storm. It's just dark. So we do have here a past dark situation.
Stormed out of every single
So that's diction, like word choice. Her words are all into this imagery.
room in this town. Throughout our cloaks
And they just threw out their cloaks. You have cloaks when you are in a cold place, right? You are really using a cloak when you're outside in a cold place. When you come into your home, when you come into this closed, warm, personal place, just throw out your cloak. So what she's saying here, with just so little, she's brilliant. She's just painting a whole image in my head. What she's saying here is that she didn't needed anything to protect her anymore. She was getting into a comfort zone, into a place where she could be just herself, like just be who she was without any cape and without using any costume or anything. And she was warm now. She was leaving the cold bad situation behind. She was just fine now, and she was warm. And their daggers, because she didn't need to defend herself anymore. She wasn't in danger anymore. She was in a safe place. So a dagger is a really short weapon, if you think about it. Like it's not something you use to attack, maybe. You use to defend, because they have to be close. The danger has to be close to you to defend yourself with the dagger. So she wasn't surrounded by any danger anymore. Okay? And it's morning now, so we have diction again here, and we are talking about the present tense. We're talking in present tense, and we're talking about light. So just see what she's doing here. She's using her words with wisdom to put a scenery into our heads. She's talking about dark, cold places in past to represent like her dark night, and she's using the words about the light and the morning and the warmth to talk about the present where she's happy and she's fulfilled.
daggers because it's morning now. It's brighter now. Now I don't wanna look at anything else now that I saw you. I can never look.
Here she didn't want to. I misspelled that. I realized she didn't want to look away. But now she's telling she can't even do that. Like, she's not capable of doing that. Why would she want to? For what? But even if she wanted to, she couldn't.
I don't wanna think of anything else now that I thought of you. Things will never be the same.
Things will never be the same, because even though when you have the night, then you have the day, it's going to be night again. But that night it's not going to be like the other one, because it's a brand new day. So yeah, even if they were having a bad situation or whatever, things will never be the same again, because she has her new beginning. She has had her new beginning.
So
I hope that makes any sense. And she's awake now. wide awake. She said she's wide awake. So she's not even a little awake. She's just wide awake. She can see everything. Now she can see the whole picture, and it's bright. Repetition, yeah. When you repeat something, it's your bad attention. So daylight is very important here. Okay, so I didn't want to interrupt the bridge. So she can still see it all in her mind. So when you can see things in your mind, is because you treasure those memories, even though they are bad or they are good. And so she treasures this. Like those memories are just precious. So she can see it in their mind, and she just keeps them pretty clear. All of me, all of you. So when they came into each other, they can fully, all of them, like their shadows. You remember what we said before? Like their shadows, their shapes and their silhouettes, everything just crystal clear. They shared, and just everything, just all of them. And intertwine, like you are a person and I am a person, but we came together and we connected. Think, okay, life was black and white, and sometimes when we think of something black and white, you just think about good and bad, like it's completely opposite. There are no shades of gray. So either it's good or either it's bad. So love was that to her, or either was a good and perfect and brilliant and just white and pure, or it was dark. It was black. It was awful. But now she realizes it's golden, and think of something that it's golden, like a ring or something. If something is golden, it's precious, it's valuable, and it stands out because it's so pretty. Okay, so it's golden, it's full of light, and it is pressure, and it's not like black and white. It's not one thing or the other. It's just everything. It's just precious, just as it is. You guys, I just don't have to say anything about this. Just well, I do have something to say. Burning red. So red is like the color of passion, and passion can be either good or either bad, because when you have a passion, you are just so into something. So when you're being so passionate, you don't tend to be rational. No, rational, yeah, rational. You don't tend to be like, you're impulsive because you are full of passion. So burning red, yeah, it can be dangerous because first of all we have burn, no, and the word burn, it comes to fire. It comes from fire, and the fire is uncomfortable. It's either good, it can be good, the fire, because it's warm and everything, but it can be dangerous, the fire. Yeah, so it can be burning red. It can be out of control and just so full of passion, but passion is not always that a good thing.
Like daylight,
And repetition.
like daylight, daylight.
I love the soft way she speaks and she sings daylight because it's something good, right? It's soft, it's
I don't
tender.
wanna look at anything else now that I saw you. I can never look away. And I don't wanna
And also
think
this
of
line
anything
thing
else
here.
now that I thought of you.
It just feels so personal.
Been sleeping so long in a 20-year dark night, and now I see daylight. I see daylight.
You just think of yourself in the heaven, listening to this, sing by the angels.
Only see daylight, daylight,
That's a vibe.
only see daylight, 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 daylight. Only see daylight, 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 daylight.
I didn't say anything about the back and forth from New York, but what I just want to say is that it takes effort to do that. Like having a long distance relationship takes effort to just be not able, but to be willing to travel in one place to another just to be with that person, and that reflects desire. You really want to be with them, so you would do anything, you would sacrifice whatever you have to in order to see them. So just the back and forth in New York, it's like great because she really wants to be with him, so she would do that. She would go from one place to the other just to be with him.
Like daylight is golden, like daylight. You gotta step into the daylight and let it go. Just let it go. Let it go.
I love the way she sings the last "Let It Go." It's just like, just let it go. Just like an angel singing that to you, and you just have to step into the daylight. Sometimes we love to be in the dark. Sometimes it feels awful, but it's like a comfort zone. You like to be like in this situation where you just feel awful about yourself, because stepping into the daylight requires, again, effort. Requires to just stand tall and just say, yeah, I want to do that. So stepping into the daylight is really hard to do. It's really hard to let go to the things that make us miserable. And she's just asking, just let it go. She's just saying, just to have to step ahead, and you just have to step into the daylight and just let the sun just cover the sun. You just let the sun cover you, and just let go to all the dark things that holds you back. It's not that easy. I swear.
I want to be defined by the things that I love, not the things I hate, not the things I'm afraid of, the things that haunt me in the middle of the night. I just think that you are what you love.
You are. I really think it's so powerful that she ends up this album full of hope and happiness and brightness and everything, and just ends it up with you are what you love. And that's right, because it's so easy to get caught into the bad things, to get caught into our fears and or hatred and everything. Just let those things take us away and just define us. But we shouldn't be defined by that. We should be defined by the things that we love the most, like the people we care about and our passion, things that are good, and the things that makes us happy, because that are going to be a good definition of ourselves, and we're going to be satisfied with it. I really think it's a powerful message. And I'm sorry for my awful English, but yeah, bear with me. And I really like that she ends up this with like a phone call, because a phone call was what started everything. Like she would she, she talked here about her darkest night. She talked here about trusting the wicked person, about trying to clean the room, just breathe in the air and just shop with it probably. And all of her darkest night started off with a phone call. So she ends this up like in that kind of situation. And I really think when she wrote that poem, Why She Disappeared, she told in that poem that she was afraid of phone calls. Like she was careful with phone calls because she was scared of them. And now in this Full of Happiness album with the phone call is like a lot of progression of the character. I really think that if you are a writer, you would like to do this kind of thing. Like we have to see the hero journeys. I'm going to start with my stuff, you guys. The hero's journey is like the process that a protagonist or a character has to go through in order to be better and grow. So they, in the hero journey, they start in a place and they just go through a lot of stuff and growing and learning lessons and everything, and just came back to the same place they were before, but they are changed. They see everything different, and that's what happens in this song. And well, theoretically, no, we have Look What You Made Me Do, which is like phone call, just she's dead, and then we have all the things surrounding, and she's just saying, you are what you love," and the end. But it's also a phone call. So she just she just went through all of this stuff. She just went through this journey, and she came back to the place she was. But she's happy now, and it's daylight. So she just stepped from the dark, and she just came into the light. And that's a powerful message, you guys. This is really powerful. And this is not easy. This isn't something easy. This is not like just stepping into daylight. It requires a lot of courage and a lot of process. It's a long process. I've been there, and it sucks. But in the end, it's worth it. So yeah, this is daylight. Just be happy, and please just press the like button if you liked it, subscribe, and just activate the bell if you want not to get some notifications of the things that I upload here. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me to this journey, and I hope you get to be to the place where you want to be.